Hello again. I'm back this week with another series of videos. This time I will be talking about the prophetic mission, what the prophets aim to accomplish during these videos. And first of all, the prophet is a historical figure. He lives in history. And there's this dialogue that goes on between the historical context and the prophet. Um, So first of all, the prophets are the messengers of God. That's their mission, is to take messages from God to the people for the sake of the people. So they have this double relationship going on. They're related to God, and that they receive the messages from Him, and God sends them. And then they have a relationship with the people, the Israelites, to whom they are sent. And this isn't an abstract relationship. This is a concrete relationship that takes place in a specific time in history, specific time and place in history. So they're informed by the events that are happening around them, and then they also have an effect on history. Their message is the word of God, and this demands a response, and it's oftentimes inconvenient and uncomfortable for the people who hear it, and it's this precise uncomfortableness that is the motivation for the effect that the prophets have on history. They're not idle witnesses to history. They don't just stand by and watch history unfold in front of them. They see problems, and they confront them head on, and they often pay the price for this. They often suffer, but quite often they have a real lasting impact on history. And one of the examples of this is Jeremiah. He confronts a number of different. There's no aspects of the culture that he doesn't confront. He fights against the king. He fights against the priests. He fights against false prophets. False prophets are those prophets that claim they're sent by God, but they're not really sent by God. And they preach a false sense of security. They just repeat messages from a different time. He preaches against the people, and he preaches against the temple. So, all these things that were happening around him, he saw problems with them, and he was sent by God to confront them and to strive for change. And I just want to bring up Isaiah really briefly as well, because a lot of one of the problems that people had with accepting this is that Isaiah came before Jeremiah, so they just thought that what Isaiah had preached was still valid in their times. The times were pretty similar. There was a lot of similar things going on. And Isaiah preached that the Israelites would overcome, they would have this great victory. So people assumed that everything was still fine. Jeremiah recognized that in his historical time, that things had changed from Isaiah's time. And so he preached against that. He tried to bring the Israelites into this, share this recognition with him that their relationship with the Lord had changed. But they didn't believe him, and so he suffered. The people wanted to kill him, and so he suffered for it. And we'll end this video there, and in the next video we'll talk about another aspect of the prophetic mission.